Alright, y'all already know, back at it again with another video. I ain't really feel like recording today, really, at all. But we here today because I just wanted to, I gotta give y'all some content and shit. Don't really matter how I feel. But we here just with on some casual shit, for real, just like me streaming and stuff. First live stream at 1,000 subs. We are so freaking close, y'all. And I feel so happy. And I'm just so grateful and so thankful to y'all because, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for y'all. My whole 1,000 subs. Like that shit, it just feels great. It feels like a dream come true. I just hope we keep growing and I hope, for the right reasons too. Like we gonna keep it on the right track. Like we ain't doing none of them that weird YouTuber shit over here. All right. So y'all know me. But yeah, first live stream at 1,000 subs. Whenever I can get to it, that's for sure. But for now, we just gonna do some like pre-recorded streams for real, just fucking around, watching some shit. As you can see by the title in the motherfucking video right now, we watching freaking Trap Lil Ross. This nigga, he really be going in deep. He be making straight movies, and I feel more YouTubers are starting to do that now instead of trying to go into acting and become a director or a producer and shit. They just do their own stuff. They do their own content and they post it to YouTube. And I love it. Like, come on, bro. Like, we can put all that shit out of business. Like, we don't need them niggas. We don't need none of them labels, none of them big production. We don't need none of that, bro. We can do it all right here. And he's definitely proof of that. Like, mans makes freaking Netflix quality shit on YouTube.
River Park Towers. And not only are these the tallest buildings in the Bronx, but they're also...
I ain't gonna watch all of it, but we gonna watch some of it. I also got it sped up. How fast? Like, this nigga talking. Okay, it's only 1.25. Y'all just gonna have to,
So the birthplace to some of the Bronx's most buzzing rappers. I'm talking about D-Thang G's. I'm talking about Shah G's. And today, we're gonna be getting deeper into the story of Bronx drill. How the teenage gangsters rapping about murder.
Now, this is definitely, like, I just like watching this content. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know why. I love learning, especially history. Anything history or, like, philosophical, or, like, psychiatry, shit like that. And I feel like this is more like modern day. It's documentation. I love podcasts, love documentaries, stuff like that. So this is right up that alley, which is why I'm watching it.
Taken over the city.
I'm really just watching it with you guys instead of by myself. Because I was going to watch it anyway.
Ever since August the 11th, 1973, when DJ Kool Herc had a back-to-school party using 2 turntables and a mixer to jump between drum breaks and looping beats, it was this Bronx-based beat-juggling bonanza that cemented the Bronx as the original birthplace of the hip-hop genre. And arguably, it's wider New York City that's the birthplace of American gangsters, with the Italian and Sicilian mafias taking hold of the city's streets in the late 1800s and early 1900s, as well as later on being the birthplace.
The history of New York, bruh, it's so rich and confusing, honestly, because it's so in-depth. There's so many fucking layers, and like, especially versus what we're taught versus the truth of it, it gets very, very crazy. But New York always and always will be like one of the most interesting, like most popping, like cities and state in the U.S. Period. Well, all of North America, honestly. Like, New York is really that place
of modern American gangs. While gangster rap first emerged from the streets of Philadelphia, being pioneered
Philly,
by the it was later popularized in Compton, California, by gangster rappers like Ice-T and NWA, Snoop Dogg and Tupac Shakur. Throughout the 90s, many rappers in New York were inspired by the mobsters in their city, making music about the life of crime and pain.
And all them cities still really popping with, like, music. Nowadays, I feel Memphis. We definitely got Memphis. We got fucking Texas. I know I'm saying cities and states, but that's just how it is. I would say Houston, but it's like really all over Texas. We got artists popping up everywhere, fucking blowing shit out of the park. Memphis and freaking Detroit, but still Philly up there, LA still up there, and New York. Like, they ain't going nowhere. It's just, it's evolving.
A picture of the mob life in rap music. The likes of Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, Mobb Deep, and others brought vivid.
Nigga, we don't need to know. I don't need a whole motherfucking history lesson on hip-hop, bro.
And its use has broadened beyond mere entertainment.
Because of fear. Fear that what started out as music to inform has turned into music that incites.
We have new developments tonight. A short teenager was stabbed to death.
A 16-year-old boy who was shot to death.
The surveillance video shows 2 suspects wanted for the murder of a Bronx teenager.
19-year-old Tyquil Dougherty was killed in the shooting.
This is surveillance video of one of those victims, just 13 years. Their rhyming lyrics to a thundering beat are angry.
That is crazy. Like, where I'm from, like, kids is just, that's Well, it used to be that way. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, music nowadays is completely different. The respect these people have is completely different. The morals and just the shit they go by, the guidelines, completely different. Like killing a kid, that's crazy. That's fucking wild. But nowadays it's so like, if you're doing it, if it's your art, then it is what it is. I feel like, dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, how you beefing with a little kid? And like, these kids ain't got no business having weapons and being in all this. No ways. Shit's crazy.
Violent and profane.
I'm 8.
You 8 years old?
The 8-year-old demon, right?
That's crazy.
They don't want to come out.
They know what I do. Bull day, bitch, I'm trying to spend.
Pop out, nigga, we out here. Yo, K-Flock, pop out right now as we speak. Wanna make shows too, pop out. Water my mother, pop out.
Basketball players.
I know 22Gs. I know motherfucking Osama. I recognize all these names because I know he's made documentaries in the past. But this one's just updated because they be still getting active. It's crazy.
So it's about to get lit. Grab their basketball, start leaving.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
The NYPD
Who 2Gs?
video of a suspect wanted in a deadly shooting in Harlem. The victim went outside to confront him.
Yeah, I've seen this one. That's crazy.
He was later pronounced dead at Mount Sinai Hospital.
Shout out Ross again. Like, brother be doing his thing. He be doing better than a whole team put together. Like, he's just one guy doing his thing. Oh, that was crazy. That one was crazy. They caught that on camera. Talking about some stop running woo lottie. I thought about that shit days after I heard about that shit. Hell,
14-year-old boy has died after being stabbed on the platform of a 1 train in Hamilton Heights.
Condolences are
that's crazy.
as loved ones leave flowers.
Like, imagine, that has to be a nigga's worst fear. Like, just getting freaking jumped by a lot of and stabbed. That's violent, bro. That's very, very violent. And like, hell no. I'd rather just get shot. You know what I'm saying?
At the doorstep of slain teen Ethan Reyes.
That a 15-year-old boy is in custody and is facing charges that include murder.
Y'all gotta see that. That right there. That is crazy. And that's what I'm talking about. This generation just ain't got, bruh, we ain't got no respect. Like, if you don't fuck with us, there's not a cell in our body that respects you, loves you, has compassion for you, empathizes with you. Like, nigga, hate is a very, very powerful feeling. That is crazy. And they parading it around, dancing and making fun and joking and shit. Fuck no.
You 8 years old. And he look like he about to go on a drill. What is all this sign language stuff he doing?
It ain't sign language. I'm from the O's, right?
So in just the last 6 hours or so, there have been 10 shootings. Was a well-known drill rapper here. He died in this shooting around 2:20 this morning.
It's just Bronx. Like, y'all know how it is. If you go to like school in the Bronx, you turn out differently a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely don't blame the kids. Like, it's the parents. It's the environment, bruh. Because everybody's born with the want to love and the want to care and to feel freely. It's the environment that doesn't allow them to, love and feel freely. You know what I'm saying? This just ain't, it weren't meant for kids. But sadly, they've become victims of it, so. Gang capital of New York.
The northernmost borough of New York City, with the Bronx originally being farmland back in the 19th century, during the time when there were not many houses for
farmland.
The Bronx. That's until about 1905, when the subway system arrived.
What is that?
Citizens of the Big Apple.
What is farmland? No, I'm playing. I'm from the South. I know what the fuck farmland is. There's like a field right beside my house. Woods behind me, but I'm just saying, in general. Bro said the Bronx used to be just fields, nigga. Like, come on, bro. That shit's crazy.
to commute more widely. This would cause a construction boom in the Bronx, leading to the development of properties on both sides of the subway, with the population of
That's
the Bronx
how
at
it
the time being
starts.
around 200,000, a number that would quickly grow to around 1.3 million just 25 years later in 1930. This rapid growth can be attributed to a number of European immigrants who came to the US in search of a better life, with a large percentage of these immigrants being Jewish people, who were likely running away from persecution in the Russian Empire before World War II, made things much worse. But as a result of these global discriminations going on through
the Japanese would go to California. I forgot which island it would be. I think we had Staten Island and Angel Island. I think my history's right. I might be fucking wrong. But yeah, like we had one on this side where, you know, immigrants could come in, Cali, and then we had New York coming from the east side. You know, so we had a lot of motherfucking growth back then. But that's why Cali and New York are still like so big and prominent, is because those were the first states that really got populated in the country for real.
This period, the Bronx ended up being 49% Jewish in the 1930s and 1940s. Also around this time, a huge amount of Italian immigrants would come to the US in search of work and a better life due to high unemployment rates and taxes at the time in Italy. This is actually when we would start seeing...
I'm not Jewish, but I can't lie. I love my Jewish brothers. Like, they funny. I feel like they're more funnier. They're usually just... I don't know why I'm stereotyping Jewish people, but y'all are some funny motherfuckers. The ones I know. Y'all are freaking funny and just... Y'all got a good vibe about y'all. I really do get like good vibes from y'all. I don't know, bro. This is just what I learned from my experience. Some cool ass niggas.
Italian mobsters taking over New York City's criminal underworld, with the
Italian mob,
officially in 1931.
Mob ties, nigga.
With this new influx of people, the borough would quickly urbanize. Fast forward a few years later to after World War II, in the 1950s, the Bronx would be seeing a major shift, which led to an economic decline in the area. This was mainly due to the construction of the Cross Bronx Expressway.
I mean, that's just like with anything in the world. Give us something for free, and you best believe niggas is gonna take advantage. Somebody. See, these mobs and these gangs, they was like, shit, I could move my whole shit over to America, and we could take over this whole new shit over here, cause it's new. Then boom. It's like a government assistance program. You always gonna have them few that slip through the cracks and just ruins it for everybody. It's crazy.
The 6-mile highway which ripped straight through the South Bronx without regard to the families or businesses that were in its path, with the city
dead wrong.
1,500 families and tearing down
dead wrong.
From here, more African
They
Americans
know they dead wrong.
During what was known as the Great Migration, a period of time between 1910 and 1970 where millions of black Americans moved from the rural South to more urban areas in the Midwest, the West, and northeastern parts of the US, including New York City. This started a phenomenon that would become known as the white flight, which is where a large number of white people moved out of busy urban areas, a lot of the times opting instead to live in the suburbs, and ultimately having the consequence of a lot of the
Man, ain't much change, bruh. I gotta say that. But that, like, the white flight, not giving it a name, that's crazy. Giving it a name is wild. Like, for sure. That's crazy. Fuck me.
Black and minority citizens being subjected to cramped and unsafe social housing projects, a form of institutional racism that's unfairly impacted black and minority citizens economically. In the 1970s, America went through significant economic stagnation, causing a serious economic upheaval in New York as the city lost...
And really, y'all, that's the term systematic racism. Because it ain't that... Well, there was a lot of racism back then, period. Like, yeah, I know, like, white people hated black people and vice versa, but it's really just the system playing against, because African Americans and black people didn't have jobs to go buy all these fancy ass houses, nigga. But the white people did. So it's not really about, oh, they're not letting us come in. It's, nigga, they ain't even giving us the opportunity to be able to afford one of these bitches. It's messed up, bruh. It's messed up.
Hundreds of thousands of jobs, and almost went bankrupt in 1975. Consequently, during this time, the city became riddled with high crime rates, and the Bronx in particular became synonymous with gang culture.
For extortion.
In the Bronx, it was a deep-rooted gang culture.
In 1971, gang violence had escalated to
a fever pitch. This is what happens when you don't give people purpose and you give them, you know, a bad hand. Like, nigga, like, no guidance. You just throw them out here, expect them to fend for themselves. What do you think was gonna happen exactly? Like, please tell me how you thought that was gonna fucking turn out. Exactly, fucking dumbass.
There were gangs literally in every corner. The violence was
I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to somebody. Like, they know what the fuck I'm talking about.
everywhere. You can hear the shouting at nighttime.
It was a lawless time.
Crime was like the major income of the Bronx.
I mean, yeah. They ain't give a shit.
During this time, there would be dozens of gangs in the Bronx at this point, like the Savage Skulls.
I ain't saying shit should be handed to nobody. But in America, we could be doing a lot more for our people than what we are doing. Like, we be doing too less for us and too much for other people. Like, it's backwards.
The Savage Nomads, the Black Spades, the Seven Immortals, the Midnight Bachelors, and the Ghetto Brothers. The escalating...
Hold up! These is badass gang names.
The Savage Nomads, the Black Spades, the Seven Immortals.
We don't hear about... Now we got freaking grapes and apes and freaking, like... Just, like... Bruh, these are cool names.
The Midnight Bachelors, and the Ghetto Brothers. The escalating violence between these gangs would eventually lead to an exceptional peace treaty in 1971, after a member of the Ghetto Brothers called Black Benji, real name Cornell Benjamin, was killed while he was attempting to broker a peace deal between two gangs.
Word of the murder and fear of reprisals spread like wildfire.
All the gangs were there. At the 174, they were waiting for the big war. We said,
dang.
No, we're not going to do anything.
We ain't doing nobody. Gotta figure out how we're gonna do this.
Yeah, for
Representatives
real.
of over 40 of the city's most notorious gangs met at the Hoe Avenue Boys Club in the Bronx. At the end of this historic summit, an inter-gang peace treaty was signed by every attending leader.
Decades later, in 2023, Black Benji's sacrifice was honored by the city at the corner of 165th.
For real, bro. Like, that nigga was just trying to do the right thing. And I hate when that happens. Like, why does that happen? I don't know. I'll never know. But, like, it's just so sad. Like, he wanted to help. He wanted to bring people together. And they hated him for it. It's just crazy.
Street and Rogers Place, where Benji was killed, with the street actually being named in his memory. The peace treaty is often credited for bringing an era in the Bronx where the youth would finally get a chance to focus on more positive endeavors, including the arts, which would eventually lead also to the flourishing of the hip-hop culture.
Peaceful block
Facts.
parties.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people, like, that's why your favorite artists, and I'm not just talking about musical artists, I'm talking about any, like, drawing artists, writing artists from all over history. Like, they're broken. All of them are broken people, bro. And I'm saying that from, like, I'm an artist, nigga. So when you don't give us a way that we can express ourselves, we're gonna create that shit. And that's what they did here. Like, they didn't have the best education because, nigga, they didn't have the opportunity to get no education. But we figured out a way to express ourselves in other ways through music and violence.
Gangs began to multiply, helping to dissolve the invisible turf boundaries that had dominated for years prior.
Here's where the whole thing started to change.
However, the gangs weren't by far the only thing popping in the Bronx during the 1970s, as this was a dark decade where much of the borough was being burnt down.
We really doing the whole history lesson, bro. And I love it, but this video, like, I was not expecting this.
With some greedy landlords actually burning down their own properties in the hopes to collect insurance money, leaving thousands homeless in the already poor borough.
We grew up with burnt out decay all over us.
The South Bronx was burning down around us, and nobody seemed to know why.
And they could do that. I also feel like I think this is when them fire, like, laws came into place. Like, every building had to be insulated. Every building had to have, like, a smoke detector, shit like that. Like, that wasn't even implemented back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit was just burning down and, like, it was crazy. Like, now you gotta have, like, if it's, like, a amount of stories, you gotta have, like, a escape. You gotta have in any building or anything like that. They didn't even have that shit back then.
South and across Bronx Expressway. They just let it burn, and nobody came in there.
And all of a
Crazy.
sudden, it just went whoosh, gone.
Nobody's aware of the fact that we got a city dump right here in backyard.
That's disgusting, bro. I swear, these humans like this make me fucking disgusted. Because not only is you literally burning their houses down, they're having to live in that smoke and in that debris and in that trash for as ever long as you let it burn. Like, that's just disgusting.
The epidemic hit the USA by storm, affecting almost every major city in the country. But
That's
crack had
the
a particularly big
crackheads.
impact in New York, and as the drug...
Y'all don't want me to get into this. I could, but y'all don't want me to.
rose in popularity, so too did the violent
'Cause
crime surrounding it. During this time, Ed Koch was elected as mayor, who focused on leading the city out of a severe fiscal crisis through austerity measures and revisiting the economy. And while he did restore some hope for the city, Ed's tenure as mayor did not come without its fair share of controversy. Scandals will begin that painted the mayor in a new light, as Koch's tenure was marked by strained race relations in New York City, with him at one point declaring that all black people were anti-Semitic and adding that Jewish people would be crazy to vote for Jesse Jackson. Koch was also highly criticized for the handling of the 1983 police shooting of Eleanor Bumpus, an elderly black woman who was dealing with mental illness. People believe that the investigation of this case was not impartial due to the fact that the NYPD led the investigation for the shooting of Eleanor Bumpus. That, along with the fact that there was no body cam at this time, caused a justifiable raise of concern for this case, especially when 4 years later in 1987, the officer that shot Eleanor, Stephen Sullivan, was acquitted of all charges and reinstated back into the NYPD with full gun privileges. People believe that Koch should have stepped in and called for an internal investigation.
That brother did not care. He's like any other old white man that goes into politics. He wants the money, bruh. He wants people to love him, and he wants money.
On this matter. This, along with numerous other scandals, the once good
and he only wants people to like him because they'll give him money.
Public perception of Koch would change to
It's crazy.
greed. In the late 1980s and 90s, we would see the rise of new gangs such as the Latin Kings, who traveled to New York from Chicago, as well as the Bloods and Crips, who migrated to New York from Los Angeles. These gangs would move to various neighborhoods in Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Harlem, and all three gangs were involved in drug trafficking, violence, and recruitment of young members from marginalized communities. The rivalry between the Bloods and Crips in New York for a time would mirror the intense conflict seen on the West Coast, contributing to the increased gang violence in the city.
All this was probably like, bruh, it could have turned so good if like we would stop letting petty ass little feelings, petty ass little things get to us, bruh. Like this could have been beautiful. Like we could have had all of us niggas together up against these people hating on us. Like, cause we was getting hated on hella, but they would pin us against each other. Like, why are we fighting each other? Let's get they ass. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
And as the 90s was coming to an end, we would see a drop in violent crimes in the Bronx, this mainly being attributed to the decline of the crack epidemic, as well as an increase in police technology. And as we head towards the present day, the gangs of New York would begin to fragment, with a lot of gangs losing the structure that they once had, breaking off into smaller sets. Another major difference is the activities of the gangs. While drug dealing is still a major part of the criminal enterprise of these gangs, instead of crack, gangs would get into selling opioids, which is the predominant substance abuse epidemic that plagues the globe in the present day. In 2022, Eric Adams was inaugurated as the mayor of New York, and his time as mayor has been filled with controversy too. Since Adams became mayor in
All right, so it went from crack, which we already know where that came from. There's literally historical documents, you know, that explains it. It's proof. Y'all need to go read about it. Look it up, nigga. And then, just out of the freaking blue, all these people addicted to things that you can only buy from pharmaceutical companies, nigga. You can only get the products to make them from pharmaceutical manufacturers. Nigga, when you gonna learn, bruh? These niggas is greedy. They only care about money, nigga. They don't care about us. Epidemic. Nigga, that shit is getting worse. Now it's freaking fentanyl. Niggas on fentanyl. Like, what the fuck? Which is just a stronger opioid. The opioids have just been getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And they just somehow end up in the streets. Y'all not fooling me, bro. I got a brain that I can use to critically think. I ain't let y'all slide.
2022, several concerning statistics and trends have emerged. For instance, robberies and felony assaults rose by 30% and 15% respectively in 2022 compared to the previous year, which was apparently caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, which affected the whole world. But Mayor Adams doesn't seem to make this link, with people accusing him of fear-mongering and hinting that New York is actually more dangerous than it actually is. The perception of safety on the subway system has also been a significant issue. Despite Adams' focus on improving subway safety, major crimes on the subway increased by 30% in 2022 compared to 2021.
How, bro?
NYPD data. Adams would actually go to the Breakfast Club.
Like, yeah, 22% jump is way better. Like, no, bro, there shouldn't be any jump. Like, why is it getting worse? We so worried about development in technology and science. But what about freaking brains and morals? What about developing a brain? What about developing, like I said, a morals? Like a foundation? Like, fuck technology, nigga. Like, we can't even think for ourselves. We can't even, like, it's just sad.
In 2022, Eric Adams was inaugurated as the mayor of New York, and his time as mayor has been filled with controversy too. Since Adams became mayor in 2022, several concerning statistics and trends have emerged. For instance, robberies and felony assaults rose by 30% and 15% respectively in 2022 compared to the previous year, which was apparently caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, which affected the whole world. But Mayor Adams doesn't seem to make this link, with people accusing him of fear-mongering and hinting that New York is actually more dangerous than it actually is. The perception of safety on the subway system has also been a significant issue. Despite Adams' focus on improving subway safety, major crimes on the subway increased by 30% in 2022.
What are you doing to make subways more safer? And I don't want it to include nothing about fucking technology, nigga. Cause that ain't how is technology gonna make humans be better humans? That's not how that works, bruh. You can't just I swear, people have just lost all common sense. For real. Like, work on the people. Make the people better. Then you won't need freaking body cams and freaking 24/7 surveillance on everybody.
Compared to 2021, according to NYPD data. Adams would actually go to the Breakfast Club to address these concerns and attempt to clean up his image a little bit. When he got there, he would be met by Olivia, a progressive attorney and advocate who challenged Adams on his rhetoric surrounding subway crime. She accused him of sensationalizing incidents.
Yeah, I think you're right that there is a difference between perception and fact and how people feel about safety and the way people feel about the subways. And I think it's your own rhetoric about the subways that has a lot to do with why people feel scared, despite the fact that millions of people ride the subway every day without incident.
And that's where it's important for a leader to be able to back away and see things from a bird's eye view. You cannot use your own opinions and your own what you saw, not even your own experiences, bruh. Because you leading all these other people and you guiding them. You're supposed to be their light. You're supposed to be their leader and give them the right words. Like, fuck how you feel, nigga. Fuck how you feel. You're a leader. Be a leader. Quit trying to scare all your people.
But you've continued
it's just
to care
weird
more about crime in the subways. You've added 2,000 police officers, despite the fact that you've acknowledged that the subways are not that dangerous.
More police. Yes. Like, I swear, bro, these boys is crazy.
Mayor Adams would kind of evade the question.
These niggas is crazy. Not only, bro, NYPD, bro. What could they possibly do to make shit better? Like, I don't think I've ever heard a good case of NYPD. Anytime I see them in a headline, they on some fucked up shit worse than the criminals that they allegedly catching. Stop it. Sounds like you hired a bunch of freaking... Never mind. You know what? I'm gonna be quiet. This ain't none of my business. No ways.
Give me the quotes on my rhetoric, because I'm lost on that. Can you give me the quote?
No.
To trace the history of drill music in New York, we have to trace the origins of the genre back to other cities. Now, here's a super concise breakdown for you. So hip-hop first emerged from the Bronx in New York. Ironically, the first hip-hop coming out of the city had an anti-violence and anti-drug undertone.
Bro, what is this bro doing?
Rock, but eventually, that positive message underlying the sentiments of early rap would end up getting twisted. The first gangster rappers that pioneered the genre out of Philadelphia was named Schoolie D, with his song PSK being all about the life of living around the Philly street gang, the Parkside Killers, giving the whole world one of the earliest lyrical glimpses into gang life ever. However, once the genre of hip-hop reached the gang-infested streets of South Central Los Angeles, the home of the Bloods and the Crips, that soon became the premier outlet for young gang-affiliated rappers to vent about the pitfalls of their lives in the streets. People like Ice-T and of course NWA gave the world a window into the dangerous life they were living on those streets, and the authorities would be furious about these tales of police brutality, batarams destroying the family homes of suspected gangsters, and seeming celebrations of...
They mad that they're getting exposed. And that's, I feel like, I can't express to y'all how much I love, like, just hip-hop as a genre, as a community, as an industry. Like, I love it all because this is what it's about, bro. About niggas telling their story, not giving it, like, ain't nobody can make them be quiet. You know, you can't take away someone's voice. They speaking up for themselves. They speaking about their life when ain't nobody give them shit. Ain't nobody gave these niggas shit. They made a way out of something, like, and it was beautiful, bro. They wanted to silence these boys. They don't want them to know all the fucked up shit that they be doing to these niggas, bruh. But we spoke about it. We gonna speak up, nigga. We got a voice now. Like, stop playing. They mad. But now it's like hip-hop's turned into something that they would love. They love to see us fall. They love to see us struggle. And they love to see us fight one another. And that's what hip-hop has turned into, bruh. And that's why We gotta bring that shit back. We gotta bring real hip hop back for real. Like, where it's loving and nurturing, and it's fuck everybody who don't fuck with us, nigga. You know, like hip hop as a genre, like that's a community. Like we gotta hold this shit together. The real rap.
Gang-related crimes, drug dealing, and black-on-black crime, which led to frantic but fruitless efforts by the authorities to ban the new emerging subgenre. But over the years, many gangster rappers would emerge in New York City too.
Ban hip hop.
Like South Bronx-based Boogie Down Productions, who emerged dropping their criminal-minded
That's another thing. Look, they want to implement so many policies and laws, but they don't want to help people become better people. It's crazy. There ain't enough technology, enough robots, enough laws you can give us if you're not helping us grow into better people, into good people of society. Like, it just ain't gonna work.
Which gave the world an early look at gangster rap, detailing their life on the underworld of New York's Bronx.
Y'all overlooking the real problems. Y'all trying to put band-aids on the shit. Nah, bro. Look how far gone we are now. Cause y'all don't want to look at the real problem. But y'all supposed to be our leaders. Y'all supposed to be leading us and guiding us. Y'all leading us into fucking hell, nigga. It's crazy.
With KRS-One making the song on the album 9mm Goes Bang, which became an underground classic and a watershed moment for gangster rap in New York, as the song described
9mm Go Bang is crazy.
The level of detail usually reserved for gangster movies from that era. These gangster rappers were using the beat as a canvas and painting vivid pictures of life as a gangster that they were living in the real-life streets of New York. And what the gangster rappers were talking about was real life, not fictionalized renditions of gang life from movies. And over the next decade, gangster rap would flourish in New York, and a number of now iconic artists would emerge from the city with their gritty depictions of the city's darkest corners. Eric B. and Rakim's Paid in Full was a landmark project in the genre. Eric B. actually grew up with Cool G Rap, who made his own mark on gangster rap, with a New York flavor and influences from New York's Italian-American gangsters, birthing the subgenre of gangster rap, mafioso rap, that preceded an entire wave of slick gangster rappers from the city. People like Big L, Big Pun, Mobb Deep, Nas, and of course the notorious
Ooh, Mobb Deep, Nas,
B.I.G. or Biggie, whose deadly feud with Tupac from the West Coast ended up with...
Man, I ain't gonna say nothing about Biggie. I ain't even gonna say, but y'all need to go do y'all history on Biggie. But Tupac,
from dead, showing fans for the first time that
Tupac a
gangster
real
rap
nigga.
records can lead to real...
Why did I do this in the gunshots? I did not like that.
Flying in the real world. But since Biggie, many rappers have emerged from New York,
I didn't
telling
do
their
shit.
tales of life as a
I ain't do
gangster
nothing.
drug dealer. Naturally, people like Jay-Z would take this to the greatest heights ever seen, while people like the Wu-Tang Clan would create something incredibly creative, more akin to a Marvel comic book universe than a rap persona, fictionalizing the dangerous streets of New York through the metaphorical lens of Shaolin warriors. And while the bling era of the late 90s and early 2000s saw rap turn from worshipping gangsters and criminals to worshipping money,
real nigga, bro.
Cash Money Records would be the pinnacle of this, and southern artists like Lil Wayne and his
Not
crew
Birdman.
would become the poster childs for using rap to get rich and bragging about it, with New York also showing out during this era with the likes of Cameron and his...
Y'all need to go do y'all history on Birdman too, bro. For real. Stop playing.
Dipset, who loved to flash out wearing fancy clothes and jewelry, but beneath the drip were hints towards criminality being used to pay for and protect these flashy fits. But at the turn of the millennium, one man would bring gangster rap back to New York in a very big way. A street player named 50 Cent, who was shot 9 times by his ops but survived, would go on one of the biggest runs in rap history, ultimately becoming the poster child for rapping gangsters. And after 50 made rapping shooters cool once again, over in Atlanta, the drug dealer rapper persona began to boom, as trap music emerged, which saw rappers dropping lyrics about selling drugs out of the
That's crazy. This dude got the timeline on point. Like, I didn't know Wayne was on his bling shit before 50 was on the gang shit. I'm learning something new about hip hop. That's crazy. That's why I love this nigga, bro.
Houses and gas stations all over booming beats that you could dance to. People like T.I., Gucci Mane, OJ the Juice Man, and Waka Flocka made trapping cool and made gangster rap that you could actually play in
freaking legends, bro. All of them.
The strip club rather than in a cypher. Trap music didn't really make its way to New York in a major way, although there were some artists who brought its flavors to the city's rapscape, such as the rapper Frenchie from Gucci Mane's original 1017
Not
Wig Squad,
familiar.
who hails from the notorious South Jamaica Houses projects in Queens. Then, in the early 2010s in Chicago, teenage rappers like Chief Keef and Lil Durk would begin rapping over Atlanta trap beats, all about the violence going on in their city, one of the most dangerous cities in America. And soon,
Hate to see it, bro. Hate to see it. It's crazy.
Chicago drill would develop its own sound, with ultra-violent lyrics about real-life murders that you could look up and read about on Google, in the local news, and later on Reddit. And the drill rappers would tell these...
And that's where it all began, bro. Freaking Ricos and freaking dumbass niggas snitching on theyself. Look where it got them.
Story all over menacing
Crazy
and booming beats that added a heroic dose of aggression to the Atlanta trap wave. Soon, Chicago drill culture would spread all over the world and find its own unique sound. But it's impossible to talk about New York drill without mentioning the man who really put the genre on before it even existed, Bobby Shmurda. Because in 2014, Bobby dropped the legendary track Hot N-Word. But rather than rapping on a drill beat as we know it today, Bobby actually kept it New York and rapped on an old...
Still, to this day, one of the hottest beats. to this day.
Lloyd Banks beat, but the track itself was riddled with references to real-life activities that members of Bobby's gang GS9 were actually doing in the streets. Bobby Shmurda went on a legendary run that's almost unheard of in the rap game, but it would be short-lived, because before the year was up, Bobby was arrested and charged with conspiracy,
like I
danger,
said,
drug,
bruh.
and gun possession, with many of the lyrics from the song that made him a household.
Like I said, nigga. Niggas got stupid, and it's their pride, it's their ego. They feel like they gotta flash all this money, all the drugs they got, and all the guns they got, and they gotta rap about all the things they did. And y'all go to jail for, like, no, bruh. No, brother. No, brother. It's not the way. I know you want to seem cool. And I know you want to, get in with the cool kids. But you gonna end up in, like, what's the point if it's gonna lead you there, bruh? What's the point?
Name being circulated as open admissions of the crimes that he was allegedly involved in. Bobby Shmurda would ultimately wind up serving 7 years inside, eventually getting released, much to the delight of his fans. As well as me personally, as I recently bumped into Bobby Shmurda while I was in New York, getting duly smoked on sight with a giant push cam. But anyway, Bobby's incarceration left the New York drill scene without a marquee rapper, and no one really came up in 2015 to fill this void. But then, 2016, a young Brooklyn rapper named 22G's begun making waves in the city. But after seeing 22's success, it wouldn't be long before his ops would start getting some music out there of their own. In May 2017, 22G's closest enemy, Chef G, would shake up the drill scene himself when he dropped his
Y'all not alright with my nigga Chef. Tough, bruh. Chef, Sleepy, Eli, they're my motherfucking goats of New York rap right now. Like, the modern day ones, for sure. Like, cause Sleepy and Chef just be on something fucking different. I can't lie. They music hit different.
his breakout track No Suburban, which was a direct response to 22G's song.
I ain't picking sides, cause 22G's can rap. I just feel like I don't be like, I heard of Chef G first, and I heard Sleepy first, and they just make more music that I can vibe to. Like, I'm not on the like drill type shit. You know what I'm saying? I like the chill music they be giving.
Titled Suburban. In the song, Chef G raps about leaving a blicky sticky before joking, you know how them blickies quick, apparently referring to a time that an op pulled up on 22G's, making him run away.
That's tough.
Now, I covered the beat.
Bruh. They stress me out, y'all. They really do. Like, I love my brothers. I do. I love the real rap niggas. I love them to death. But some of y'all stress me out. Brother pulled out the gun on camera just to pull it out. Now, I ain't saying he should have shot it, but I'm not like, imagine the other nigga had something on him and you would have just been gone, bruh. Cause all you wanted to do was pull it out and flash it. Shit's weird. I swear. Niggas is weird, bruh.
Between 22G's New York GD set, Blicky Gang, and Chef G's Crip set, Moving Gang, in another video.
I swear, it's out of love, bruh. Y'all be stressing me out out of love. Cause I don't want to see y'all dead or in jail. Cause y'all got talent. But like, come on, bruh. We done seen how that shit goes. Stop. Just stop it.
On my channel, so go check that out if you want the whole story. But 22G's is affiliated with the Gangster Disciples. Originally coming from Chicago, they made their way to New York and became part of an alliance called the True Alliance of Gangs that 22G's crew was part of. Now, many people cite 22G's tracks from this year as the beginning of New York drill, as it is today, because 22G's was one of the...
And this is where I get lost. Nigga said the freaking GDs traveled to Chicago, got a new name. Why didn't she just keep the old name? What the fuck is true, nigga?
very first rappers in New York to start rapping over UK type drill beats. You see, back in the UK, gangster rap was still a much less developed genre, but in the underground, street rappers had been honing their skills in the form of road rap for years. But when the UK road rappers began experimenting with Chicago drill beats and telling their tales of violence in their hoods, the scene would begin to find its own voice. The UK drill producers,
I love this nigga's background music.
Chicago drills, booming drums, and dark melodies, but adding some UK flavor, inspired by dance music subgenres like garage, house, jungle, and dubstep.
Gonna have to.
Actually finding his beats on YouTube whilst looking for something to rap on. He started using 808 Mello's beats without paying or even realizing that he was
another legend.
After his song started to blow up, Mello would hit up Pop Smoke for a little compensation.
This is what I'm talking about right here. The perfect example of why I don't want y'all niggas to be keep doing this dumb shit, bruh. Pop, Pop, Pop Smoke should have lived, nigga. He should have been a freaking legend, bro. Had multiple albums. Boom, 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 boom. Every year took his day. But he ain't get out when he could get out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta be smarter.
And recognition, and from there a close relationship would form between them. This led to a string of hits from the two, with Pop Smoke's run in the rap game being impeccable from the very start.
Swear, bro.
When he dropped his
that boy went crazy and left a mark, bro. Seriously. It was crazy how this nigga
respect with Pop's
hit like that.
Voice and impressive flow, making the track an instant hit. 2019 was definitely a good year to be a New York gangster rapper. And after 6ix9ine's infamous snitching scandal, this made room for genuine New York gangsters with real street resumes to take the spotlight. And despite being new to rapping, Pop Smoke was more than ready for the limelight. Pop was dropping hit after hit in 2019, with Welcome to the Party and Dior making huge amounts of noise. Meanwhile, Fabio Foreign was building on his success from the previous year, dropping a viral track Big Drip, which as of recording has around 90 million views. For the first time, rappers rapping gangs outside of the Wu or Chu alliance were also starting to make waves, particularly Busy Banks, who blew up in the summer of 2019. At the end of 2019, the Two saw success as well, with 22G's track Suburban Part 2 blowing up on TikTok, and in the 2020s, the Wu, who had been dominating the New York drill scene and the rap industry as a whole, would unfortunately suffer a tragic loss, as on the 19th of February that year, Pop Smoke was killed during
and it ain't right, bro.
This was a turning
it ain't
point
right.
Drill, and many felt that it could be the end of
like this is one of nigga, this is one of our brothers, bro. He ain't. Y'all niggas, I can't.
The scene's success. 2020 was kind of a tough year for drill. After the loss of Pop Smoke, people were looking for the next big thing. And briefly, a new artist called CJ would capture the scene again.
And I swear niggas think they so freaking cool and hard. Like, it's not cool. That shit is not hard, nigga. You know what's hard? You know what's difficult? You know what's tough? Nigga, picking yourself up out of that shit. Don't let that anger and that sadness make you so emotional to where you do something that you gonna... But it ain't worth it. I get it. I do. I promise y'all, nigga. I fucking get it. But it ain't worth it. And it ain't cool. And it don't make you hard. And it don't make you tough, nigga.
Summer of 2020 when he dropped his viral hit Whoopty. Although this track did get a lot more eyes onto the Brooklyn drill scene, in some ways it did more harm than good, because a lot of people questioned CJ's gangster persona, and it didn't take long for other more authentic New York drill rappers like 22G's to expose CJ as a fraud and calling him out for faking his affiliations to New York gangs. This would hurt the scene as a whole, as it brought the credibility of New York drill rappers into question. But after CJ's hype died down, the newest generation of genuinely gang-affiliated teenage drill rappers have taken the torch, with many of the biggest names of this generation coming.
And this is basically where I tapped out of New York drill. I listened to Chef. I listen to Sleepy. That's pretty much it. Literally.
The Bronx themselves, and popularizing the new term for this generation of rappers as Bronx.
Hey, Flock.
Once drill music reached Brooklyn, the likes of Pop Smoke, 22G's, and Fabio Foreign made gangster rap cool in New York once again, and making music that gave the world a glimpse into the dangerous gang.
Fabi be doing his thing too. I can't.
For a period of time,
I can't sleep on like that nigga. He like that.
borough of Brooklyn was New York's drill capital, but that changed in 2021 with the rise of Bronx drill, with rappers like K-Flock and Dougie B from the Bronx, who had been making music since 2020, beginning to see mainstream success. In 2021, K-Flock, Dougie B, and B Love dropped Brotherly Love, which blew up. This track put the spotlight on this emerging trio of drillers cooking up street music in the Bronx, and they begun carrying the torch for the
That's
New
the
York
way
drill
to do
scene.
it, bro.
K-Flock followed up that.
Like, you don't want to, like, don't be in that shit alone, bro. Get you some brothers, cause if one of y'all, if one of y'all don't make it, the other one, like, most likely will. Like, you give yourself better chances, and don't be the jealous type, and don't be the weird type, nigga. You know what I'm? Everybody got their own path. Everybody got their own thing. If it ain't your thing, and you see your friends succeeding, then just let them do that shit, and you gonna find you something, bruh.
Success with an even bigger hit when he
But
dropped
I think this is the best way to do it, for real.
Anthem, which is arguably one of the most energizing drill songs ever to be made. K-Flock shouted his way through the song with the energy of a drill sergeant of drills over a booming beat that guaranteed to make the striker shake. But the song being a drill anthem meant that it of course included pointed disses towards his rivals in the Bronx too. But K-Flock's connection to these particular ops would gain a lot of attention, because K-Flock and his friends are from Sevside, a hood around East 187th Street with a set in the area known as 700 DOA. D-Thang G's, who was not only K-Flock's op, but also his cousin, hails from an infamous New York project building called the River Park Towers, with a notorious notorious gang coming out of that block called the YGs,
Raji's.
D-Thang would become a popping Bronx drill rapper in his own right off the back of his massive song Caution. This high-energy anthem, one of my favourite songs out of the Bronx drill scenes, put D-Thang on the map too, and once these two beefing cousins blew up, they would find themselves in a bitter feud in the streets with their friends on respective sides of the war actively sliding and trying to kill each other, all while they were making music about it. Now, if you want even more detailed breakdown of this situation, you can go and watch my full documentary Murder in a
Again, what's the point, bruh? Like, this is definitely, it feels PR stunted. It feels like they just keep that shit going just for clout. And just, so they'll have some traction. But who am I? I don't know shit.
Background. But for now, let me give you a quick recap. Because on the track Is You Ready, K-Flock raps I could do shh like Ice did to Sonny, a reference to Ice who kidnapped his nephew Sonny in the movie Paid in Full. With K-Flock basically saying that he doesn't care if they're family, he will still slide on his cousin. The two cousins feud would become a staple mark of this new drill scene, as fascinated fans would flock to the scene to learn more about this deadly family feud. The beef between D-Thang's YGs and K-Flock's DOA crew had been running for years by this point and had already gone deadly. One of the earliest incidents of serious violence between these two groups occurred on the 7th of April 2020, when a YG's member named Wu Lottie, real name Glenn Cole, was walking in Sugar Hill with other YGs.
I never understood. I will never understand the human's appeal to like negativity and just traumatic. It just seems like that's what we're drawn to, and it's human psychology. Like, and I feel like I'm the same. Like, everybody's like, we like dramatic stuff. We like stuff to catch our attention, and for some reason, we're just drawn to dark shit. I don't know. It's weird. But I wish I could figure it out so I could freaking, like, oh, okay, now that I understand it, maybe I can do better. I mean, I don't be, like I said, I don't really be on the drill music shit. I listen to Youngboy. He a real nigga. But that's probably, like, that's as much as it, that's as bad as it gets for me. I'm not into violence, and I can't do all that. That shit stresses me out.
Ultimately being caught by enemies around 1 a.m. when a car full of another set of rivals beefing with the YGs, the OGs, pulled up, chasing Wu Lottie and his
Not
friend
the
with
OGs.
broomsticks, trash cans, and knives. Lottie would trip over, and the gang set upon him furiously. He would be left with stab wounds to his torso and thigh, later dying in a Harlem hospital.
Investigation underway in Harlem after a man was stabbed
Dead
to death.
wrong.
It happened just before 1 this morning on West 154th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue. Authorities say officers found the man with multiple stab wounds to his torso and legs. His identity yet to be released, and no arrests have been made.
Two people were initially arrested, a 28-year-old and a 16-year-old. The man was William Hopetoun, quickly identified by police after renting the
Nigga is 30, killing a teenager? You got beef with a teenager and you 30, my nigga? No words.
zip car used in the crime in his name, with cops later arresting a total of 5 people in connection with the crime. During this period, K-Flock was
That's
in
crazy.
the streets, regularly spinning his various ops blocks on IG Live, pulling up to their buildings and trying to draw out the ops for a shootout.
Come outside, we in front of our building. Look, we in front of our building. I wish when y'all over here, we just shot when y'all face, we never went love. He live in this building, y'all. I feel like a warrior. I'm not going
Bro,
like,
what?
I'm not going like no ops. What am I, mom making a movie on live?
Butter said he feel like a warrior for the fucking devil, nigga. Like, be a warrior for Christ. What about that, nigga? Like, you ain't like, and I like these niggas is kids. These niggas is kids. They was taught this way. They was brought up this way. So it's not like I don't blame these niggas at all, because this is all they know. What infuriates me is the people that taught them this shit. Because they was grown as hell teaching these little kids this shit. Like, you just as freaking dull-minded, empty-brained, like, as that little newborn baby that you... I don't know why it was God gave you that a child to raise. But, like, bruh. Like, we gotta... Like, parents need to be better parents is what it just needs to happen.
If I got a dog, what am I? That means, well, I'm on a block, Tolo. I'm on a block. I'm on a block.
Things would truly heat up in the streets between DOA and the YGs in 2020 and 2021, when a bloody back and forth took place that saw numerous young men losing their lives on both sides. On September the 10th, 2020, 17-year-old named Kethel Wirtz, aka K-Dub...
And that's what it is. I get it. Like I said, I get it. Like, nigga take one of your family members, one of your friends, and they just think... What they think, you soft or something? Like, they just think you just gonna let them slide like that? But, like, come on, bruh. Like, you gotta think about that shit. Karma is very real. Ain't no nigga finna slide with nothing. Because God's judgment is coming. And he madder than any of us could ever be. Like, he's more disappointed, more angry, more upset than anybody could be, because he's watching all of us down here fucking up the world that he gave us. Like, it's not our job to do justice and to get revenge. Cause, like, bro, we gotta live better. Like, we got a responsibility to not take that path and to not do that, bro. For the people that love us, not for us ourselves, but for the people around us, for society, for the world, for God, for the right reasons. Like, we gotta stop.
The street in Hoe Avenue in Crotona when he was confronted by 2 masked gunmen. He tried to run but tripped and was shot multiple times, later passing away in hospital.
Loved ones lit candles and shared stories of.
And it really ain't even about being the bigger person. It's just, do you want to have your soul intact? Do you want to keep your heart and yourself? Like, you think your family member or friend that's gone would want you to lose yourself and do that shit? Like, nah, bro. Nah, they wouldn't.
17-year-old Kether Wirtz.
He was a cool dude, always laughing. He never bothered nobody unless he had to.
That's a fact.
He was just a chill guy.
The whole crime was caught on camera, but it's far too violent to show you on YouTube.
Surveillance video shows the moments leading up to his death on Hoe Avenue in Crotona. One of the suspects was also seen shortly after walking on Southern Boulevard. A motive is still unclear. Take a good look at this video. Police are hoping someone recognizes the 2 men.
The cops would later make an arrest, with later unconfirmed speculation circulating that the killer was indeed from Sevside. However, only days later, there will be another killing seemingly carried out by YG's affiliates. On September the 12th, 2020,
I love how it's just that one comment, like, nigga, how you know?
3-year-old Christopher Pagan, aka Yellow, was in a parked car at Jackson Houses on Park Avenue near East 158th Street in Melrose when a gunman approached and opened fire. One man was shot and survived. However, Yellow
Alright, we're gonna have to speed this shit up. We 34 minutes in. Like, what the fuck? The law.
K-Flock was acting absolutely wild in the streets, but unfortunately for him and other NYC drill rappers like him, unlike cities such as Chicago, where rappers like King Von, Lil Jeff, and Q50 can boast about killing numerous people in their songs and still be seemingly untouchable by the law, this is not the New York of the 80s and 90s when crime was completely out of control in the city. Now, that's not to say that the NYPD doesn't have its own problems when it comes to policing, but for comparison, the worst clearance rate for homicide in New York's boroughs in 2023,
we ain't gonna talk about it.
That number being 76%, whereas in the Bronx, it was 81%, meaning that 4 out of 5 homicides in the Bronx actually get cleared. Meanwhile, in the entire city of Chicago, this also including the richest and safest neighborhoods, the clearance rate for murders in 2023 was only 52%, whereas in the poorest neighborhoods in the south side of Chicago, such as Chatham, Woodlawn, and Washington Park, where guys like Von, Jeff, and Q50 made their names, only about 20%, or 1 out of 5 homicides, were actually cleared through prosecution between 2019 and 2021. Although to be fair to Chicago, these numbers might have slightly improved since the peak of the COVID lockdowns, which caused a nationwide crime epidemic that brought the clearance rates down pretty much everywhere. But in any case, given the fact that the modern New York law enforcement are in fact rather efficient at solving crimes, at least compared to some other major US cities, it's no surprise that after the Bronx drill artists began gaining visibility for themselves and their gangs in social media, it would only be a matter of time before the law would intervene.
Look, bruh. Well, I don't care what you bang, what gang you in. Like, you not beating the police, nigga. And that's really the sad, like, it's a sad truth. It really is. Cause niggas, like, the justice system be doing a lot of injustice. And that's just the truth of it. So yeah, they be like, they gonna get away with it. That's what's really sad. It's like, that's why you gotta control yourself and you gotta have your shit together. Be on your P's and Q's. Cause one slip, they don't care, bro. They not gonna care, bro. They not gonna ask you they not gonna care why you did it. They gonna throw the fucking book at you, bro. They don't care about your life. They don't care about your family, bro. That's why you gotta think about yourself. Think about your family. Because nobody else is thinking about them. You gotta think about it, bruh.
Intervene they would, handing out indictments to some of the biggest and most well-known gangs in the Bronx. One of the first major indictments would come on April the 7th, 2022. This indictment was against 20 members of the so-called Drilly Gang, also known as G-Side, who hail from the northwest of the Bronx, more specifically from around the Williamsbridge Oval Park, where they can often be seen hanging out in their music videos. These indicted members, which included guys like the popular rappers Spaz Drilly and Lee Drilly, were being accused of crimes including murders, shootings, and stabbings. The Bronx District Attorney would...
And I bet you it's in the lyrics. Go to the songs and look at the lyrics. That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all be so quick to try to act hard and act tough and talk about what you did and what you got. But the feds is watching. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all niggas. It ain't about your ops. It ain't about you, nigga. The feds is watching. And that, like I said, they don't care. They don't care why you did it, how you got it, where it, like they wanna put your ass in jail. That's what they wanna do, nigga. So you gotta think smarter and harder for yourself and for your family.
Which on the other hand is part of the United Blood Nation Alliance that includes several East Coast-based blood-affiliated sets such as the Nine Trey Gangsters and G-Shine. They'd allegedly committed 32 acts of violence between 2018 and 2022.
No, I'm about done with this shit. It stressed me out.
Would uncover some of the most notorious crimes done by the
drill rap videos help cops arrest 20, my nigga. 20, my nigga, of our brothers in gang crackdown. Cause y'all wanted to rap about that shit. Ain't that crazy? Like, that's just wild to me, bro. That's just crazy, bro. 20? They trying to get us out of here, bro. And y'all just giving them the fuel. Y'all giving them exactly what they need to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this the exact reason why we get stereotyped the way we do, nigga. And treated the way we do, nigga. And I know, like, a lot of people ain't gonna like to hear that, but that's just the truth, bruh. Y'all are giving them the exact shit that they need to make us look fucking horrible. And to put y'all asses in jail. Like, it's crazy.
gang. The first crime in the indictment covers the stabbing of an 18-year-old CUNY prep student who was stabbed in front of his school. It appears the incident stemmed from a dispute when a group of men approached the unnamed student demanding his jacket. The second crime detailed in the indictment is the shooting and stabbing murder of 24-year-old James Rivera, whose life was tragically cut short on July the 20th, 2020. According to gunmemorial.org, James, who also went by Jamie, had a calm personality and was a father of 3 kids, who are sadly going to be forever affected by this senseless violence. According to the indictment, the Drakes were not only putting in work in
like, don't you think about the kids, bruh? No, y'all don't. Y'all don't be thinking, period. It's crazy.
Streets, and it's also alleged that the members were still also putting in work behind the wall in jails and prisons, with one claim that 3 drilly members had assaulted a rival gang member whilst incarcerated at the notorious Rikers Island prison.
Rikers,
then, on March 17, 2021, 4 drilly members reportedly went to an apartment complex on Hull Avenue, located in the drilly's hood, where a gun was shot at 20-year-old Delilah Vasquez at close range, ultimately killing her.
20, bruh. She ain't, like, that's a baby, bruh. That's a child. Gone for what? Crazy. Ain't no sense in it, bro.
A family is devastated after the loss of their 20-year-old daughter. Delilah Vasquez was found.
But I spin for it. No, I'm playing.
Earlier this month, News 12's Jericho.
But that's just me, like, bro. That's where I say, like, I get that shit, bro. Cause, But I'm growing. I'm changing. I'm healing, bro, and I'm understanding better now. That's where we all got to get to that point.
Tran speaks with Vasquez's mother, who says her death could have been avoided.
On Wednesday, March 17th
shit.
at 9:30 in the evening,
You don't
Cynthia
say.
Duffy received an anonymous call saying her daughter had been shot.
Literally, these people tricked me for over an hour to look for my daughter downstairs, and she was upstairs the whole time.
Frantically searching for her daughter, Duffy called the police, but no reports were made at that time.
Then that same number calls me back while we're with the police 40 minutes later. And they're like, Delilah's in apartment 3A, and she's dying, and hangs up. So now the cops believe me. Now they thought I was telling the truth.
Vasquez was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced.
It pisses me off. Pisses me off. Pisses me off, bruh. She said, now the police want to listen to me. That's the fucking problem. Ugh. And no matter what you do to try to have justice for this girl, she ain't getting her life back. That mama ain't getting her daughter back. For what?
Dead.
We could have saved her. She was strong. She got shot at 9:30. She died at 11:59. Homo. 11:59. She's strong. She could have survived.
Friends and family.
All because what? All for what? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all can blame these gangs and y'all can blame da. But the root of the problem is how it's treated. How I ain't gonna get into it, bruh.
They gathered at the Woodlawn Cemetery on Saturday to remember Delilah, who left behind 2 younger siblings.
Feeling really sad, and I really miss her, and I just can't believe that what happened to her.
The devastating loss now accompanied by harassment from the people Duffy believes were involved in her daughter's death.
It's dangerous for me and my family. I'm not in that apartment no more. I packed everything because I'm scared for my life. Because people involved in this are contacting me.
Now, police believe the shooting was gang-related, and 2 arrests have been made in connection to Vasquez's death. 20-year-old Precious Williams and a 16-year-old boy, both facing drugs and weapons charges. Now, friends and family are urging anyone with information in connection to her death to come forward and call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS.
Despite the arrest and the indictment, it's still seemingly not clear why Delilah was shot, and some Redditors in the New York State...
Again, like I said, they can make all the calls and arrest all the people they want. But that girl ain't getting her life back. Like, we gotta... First of all, they need to fucking listen. They don't listen to none of us, which is the problem. Like, we know more than you, and that's just period. Like, I know you want to act, you got the authority, nigga. Ain't nobody care. Because you leading us all in the wrong direction. So how about you listen to your people, and then we can actually get some fucking where. Stop trying to, y'all trying to let technology and all this shit fix us. When that's not gonna fix us. The only thing that's gonna fix us is us fixing us. It's the only way we're gonna get better. Is by bettering people. Their brains, their hearts.
Mine subreddit seemed to believe she was killed by accident after a gun went off and shot her in the head, saying that Delilah herself was allegedly affiliated with the Drilly gang. Either way, her death would sadly live forever in the lyrics of Disrespect.
It don't matter,
like, only 2 months after her death, OG's rappers Shah EK and Blockwork would release their
Doesn't
song
make any
D&D,
difference.
which stands for Dummy and Delilah, 2 Drilly members who lost their lives far before their time. In the chorus of the song, Blockwork would rap, "Might blow like TNT, that's a D&D." But it's Shah EK who would offer the most disrespectful line, starting off his verse by letting it known that he has a lot of ops he can smoke, but he would rather smoke on Delilah. Even Lil TJ would hop on this trend, dropping a snippet where he says that he smokes Delilah whilst taking other drugs in an attempt to boost his high. This is because Lil TJ
I remember that. I think I remember that.
Slattery Boys, named after Slattery Park, located on 183rd and Valentine, who actually beef with the Drilly gang. Although these disses towards the Drillies are coming from their ops, the indictment would point out the fact that Drilly members would also boast about their crimes in music. It was obvious that the DA was fed up with all of the senseless violence going on in the borough, and particularly the shameless boasting about that violence, which was making local law enforcement look pretty bad. And only a month after the Drilly indictment, another gang would be handed a high-profile indictment too.
Talk about that, huh?
The River Park Towers gang, aka RPT, with 23 of the gang's alleged members, including the rapper D-Thang himself, actually getting hit with charges of conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder, and even more, claiming that amongst other crimes, members of the gangs had sent 11 shots into a building, barely missing the head of their intended target. One of the weirder crimes that the gang was charged with was actually animal cruelty. During a live stream that one of the members was filming, a pigeon would fly nearby, which they would compare to a crip, and that's when one defendant would say that if they get 100 views, they would kill the bird. And once they reached that goal, members would then indeed beat that bird to death with a cane, whilst capturing the absurdity of it all for the world to see. The Bronx County DA, Denise Clark, would also comment how the gang committed 6 shootings, showing complete disregard for anybody's life, adding that she's
straight demons, bro. Straight to hell. No souls. That's what they want, bro. These demons out here, they want these kids' souls, bro. That's what it is. They want all of our souls, but if they can get the kids, they know they got us. Because those are the most purest, most just innocent. Like, that's light. It gives light to the earth. But yeah, it's ruining our younger generation. Because they're the most vulnerable, too. Like, they're most susceptible to all this bullshit because they're still developing. And it's just sad how we, like, and I'm 19. So I just got here. But I know I have a responsibility to these younger ones, bruh. And it's like, these past generations don't feel the same way. But like, y'all let a lot of these kids down, bruh. Y'all past generations, y'all really did. Cause look at the world we live in, bruh. We didn't do this to ourselves. We didn't create this world. Y'all created this world and brought us here. It's crazy.
calling on rappers from the Bronx to stop using music to encourage shootings and to instead use it to better the community. But in early 2023, the law enforcement would keep going hard after the Bronx drill rappers, only this time it would be the feds, who would first in January charge 2 members of a gang called Third Side, located on 183rd next to the Bronx Zoo, with a racketeering conspiracy, aka a RICO case. One of these alleged members would be a rapper called Zay Munna, whose old videos included cameos from K-Flock, showing just how close these two sets were, at least at the time. Indeed, the next month in February, K-Flock's situation would also go from bad to worse, when he and 6 other co-conspirators would be hit with federal racketeering charges for their alleged participation in Sevside, aka DOA, which the feds consider a criminal organization closely affiliated with the Third Side. Besides the alleged murder of Oscar Hernandez, aka Walker, K and his accomplices would also be accused of numerous other crimes, such as shooting up rival gang members in November 2021 near the River Park Towers, where D-Thang's YG's faction RPT operates. While some could argue that K has a decent case to be made that he shot Walker in self-defense to a Middle Eastern conflict zone like Afghanistan, following a trend set by Chicago, which since the early drill scene has been given the nickname Chirac, of course being a mixture of Chicago and Iraq. The popular subreddit focused on the Chicago drill scene, thus getting its name Chiracology. In the midst of this landscape, new young drill artists like Didi Osama, born David Deshaun Reyes, have emerged. Didi was one of 6 siblings, and 2 of his brothers are also rappers, rapping under the names J-Star Baller and Naughty Osama. The brothers were very close, particularly Didi and Naughty, who were born only 14 months apart. And after David's brother adopted the name Naughty Osama, people began calling David Didi Osama.
You know, I see the name. You know, where did that come from? Your brother got Naughty Osama.
He just said it.
Yeah.
My name gonna be Nadia Sham. So yeah, that's my name too. You talking about? It's my name too. Like my video Sham.
Bruh, I love like these niggas all talk the same, and I love it. Like, what you talking about? Like, it's just crazy, bruh. It's crazy. From the Bronx.
Their mother worked in real estate whilst the children's father was absent. And while Didi and Naughty didn't grow up in the Bronx, they were located very close by, just across the Harlem River from South Bronx, in the Harlem neighborhood of Sugar Hill, like on the 149th Street, where Naughty and Didi can be seen in one of their music videos. Sugar Hill is a neighborhood with a deep African-American history, known for being a cultural and intellectual hub during the Harlem Renaissance of the early 20th century, which attracted prominent African-American figures like the academic
that background
W.E.B.
music
Du
always
Bois,
hit,
pianist and composer Duke Ellington, and lawyer Thurgood Marshall.
Not Duke Ellington, dang, son.
And politics, as well as becoming the Supreme Court's
Ice
first African-American
Spice.
justice. Thus, Sugar
Hold up. I need to get to this, and then I'm gonna wrap it up.
As we've seen, the New York drill scene has evolved remarkably.
Because I wasn't
over the years,
expecting
with streets
this.
influencing
This
the genre
crazy.
Monumentally. Artists like Fabio Foreign have transitioned from street life to mainstream success, demonstrating how the drill genre can be a pathway to
type
legitimate
shit.
opportunities and a means to change
Type
lives.
shit.
Fabio's rise to fame
That's what it's
shows that
supposed to be
possible
for.
leave behind past conflicts and focus on building a
Yeah,
positive
for
future.
real
Affiliated
though.
with
I always believe like you can come back from anything, bro. You can turn any darkness. It don't matter how into light, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why I know like we could do better. We can get better. We just gotta actually want to. That's the first step.
Blues Alliance from Brooklyn, where Fabio is from, he was really able to push into the mainstream with songs like Big Drip and Wetty. He would even be featured on Kanye's highly anticipated Donda album, with many people even saying that he actually had the best verse on the album. And like I mentioned before, Fabio's life wasn't always this good, as his connections to the street side of the drill scene run deep. Fabio was born and raised in East Flatbush in Brooklyn, and he actually lived in the same building as the famous GS9 member Rowdy Rebel. Fabio would actually speak with Complex about how the hood changed, with Bobby Shmurda and Rowdy Rebel going hard in the music industry in the mid-2010s. Inspired, Fabio and some of his friends started dropping music under the name 800 Foreign Side. But sadly, the group never gained any serious traction, with some members going to jail while others stopped rapping altogether. Fabio would say that he felt at some point like people just gave up. In 2016, Fabio's mum was in the hospital due to a stroke.
That's what it is. I'm telling you, like, it's hard to find motivation and hope in today's world because we just see a whole bunch of like negativity and bad shit. Everybody want to bring everybody down. So much hate and sadness. Like, so it's hard for these. Like, he just said it. Like, they had a whole rap crew, but they eventually just quit. Like, they either go into jail or freaking just not want to rap anymore. They lost motivation. It's how it like. It's like there's no hope. Ain't nobody giving us guidance. Ain't nobody showing us there's any hope. It's crazy, and we only know what we know.
Fortunately, she would pass away with him right by her side. In a DJ Vlad interview, he would explain how this didn't just hurt
We ain't got
him
no
emotionally,
guidance.
as his mum took care of a lot of his needs, like paying the rent in the house that he stayed in, and ultimately, his mother's death would push Fabio into homelessness.
It hit me hard. It hit me crazy. It hit me crazy. Like, like my mom's, she took care of everything. I did. So, like, so like when she passed away, like, and then like, it was time like pay rent.
See, it's stuff like that, bro. That makes us human, bro. We all human at the end of the day. Like, this nigga has probably done some crazy ass shit. But at the end of the day, like, that hurt. Not just financially, nigga. Emotionally, like, spiritually. Like, losing your mother. Even that, especially that being your only parent. It's crazy. That's crazy.
And it was time to do certain things. It was like, damn, like, I mean, it just, like, I had to grow up instantly. Like, I had to grow up, like, instantly.
At this time, we would
I
also
felt
find out
that.
that his girl was pregnant with his baby, something Fabio would actually speak on in a tweet reflecting on his come up with this girl. All of this just put a battery in Fabio's back, and a year and a half later, he would drop his breakout song, Blicky in a Box. Although this song is literally a diss song to an opposing gang, Fabio would later shift his music into more of a positive approach. By 2022, his album Bible releases, which is still rooted in drill.
This bit was hard. I remember listening to that album, and it went hard, and it was perfect. That's why I rock with Favi. Like I said, I don't rock with a whole lot of New York shit because it's just too aggressive. It's too much for me. But Chef, Sleepy, Favi, like they own their shit.
But the difference is the way he talks about his time in the streets. By this point in his mature career, instead of dissing the ops, this album made a much more reminiscent approach, reflecting on how that time had shaped him into the man he is today. On the other hand, if you want to contrast, you could compare him to Lil Mabu, the white drill phenomenon who combines comedy with hard-hitting drill anthems and highlights an interesting aspect of the genre's flexibility. Lil Mabu is clearly not from the streets, but he still finds great success in the genre with his entertaining, humorous, and even self-deprecating rendition.
And that's what it's about. See, Lil Mabu different. Because he don't try to act a certain way, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows, and he does this for fun. As an art, he just practices it, and he likes to do it for fun, bro. Like, and that's cool. What's not cool is you trying to portray a lifestyle that you don't live, nigga. You trying to act a certain way that you aren't. You know what I'm saying? Lil Mabu told you, like, he a businessman. He a college student. Like, he's not, you know what I'm saying? And that's what's up. I rock with that.
Which usually doesn't hurt anyone.
I actually do love Lil Mabu because he's on the Young Genius movement. I love that shit. Like, yes, you can be a rapper and go to college. You can be smart and, do your thing. You ain't gotta pick. You can do both. Do all of it. Both of them.
Being a place that anyone can make it, not just the street guys. However, although Mabu isn't from the streets, he's gotten himself involved into some street business in the past, as his 6th oldest video on his YouTube channel is a diss song with Shah EK titled Everyone K, which is actually aimed at Yosh G's. In it, Lil Mabu would rap asking Yosh G's where he was at.
Everyone K is crazy.
Before then suggesting that Yosh G's gets his designer clothes from China and not the actual designer stores. Shah EK would start his verse off by telling the Drillies, who are allied with YG's Mott Haven set, to die, and saying that he's smoking on D&D, aka the dead Drilly members Dummy and Delilah, before also dissing Boomer and Benji. This likely meaning a member called Boomer from a Brooklyn-based gang called OMB, and a member called Benji from the McKinley Houses project in the Bronx. Shari K would then end his verse by saying that if someone throws up G's, he will up his gun and shoot.
We ending it. We ain't got to the Ice Spice part. Like, hold up. Because I gotta know, like, what could she possibly have to do with this?
The popular 2012 EDM song Clarity by Zed featuring Foxes, and her second song Name of Love, sampling the popular 2016 EDM song In the Name of Love by Martin Garrix, but her breakout hit will be the song titled Munch, which, like her other songs before that, was produced by Riot USA, who Ice actually met during her days at university, and it's rumored that the two were actually dating. Although Munch was on a more generic beat, Ice Spice's Bronx slang, and particularly her catchy chorus refrain, You Thought I Was Feeling You, that dude a Munch, undoubtedly combined with her stunning physical appearance in the song's music video, made Munch an instant hit. And things wouldn't just stop there, as a few months later, UK artist Pink Panther dropped her song Boys a Liar Part 2, which featured Ice. This song became both of their highest charting songs ever, peaking at number 3 in the Billboard Hot 100, while spending 2 weeks at number 1.
And see, this is what I'm talking about. When, like, we need more collaboration in the industry. Like, stop hating. Stop the hate. Be great. You know what I'm saying?
UK songs chart. Ice Spice would also feature on the Barbie movie theme song alongside the New York rap legend Nicki Minaj, and that song is even
like, I'm so tired of it.
Like many popular Bronx drill songs, it again samples a popular song on the beat.
Let's collaborate.
Aqua's 90s hit song Barbie Girl. The song is a testament to how far this genre has truly come and how it's crossed so many boundaries to achieve truly mainstream acclaim. However, Ice Spice's meteoric rise to fame didn't come without controversy.
That chain hard.
Blow up out of nowhere, she would get accused of being an industry plant, a term which basically implies that an artist's success was manufactured by a record label rather than earned through organic growth. In this case, the online consensus seems to be split on whether she is.
I really wouldn't care. Like, so what if people think you're an industry plant? They's on their couch watching you. They're listening to you. They're watching you. Like, who cares what they think? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who cares?
An industry plant. But either way, Ice Spice has been able to stay at the top of the game for almost 2 years, although in 2024, her career will begin to see a bit of turbulence, as fans noticed that she had lost over 25 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Many would also argue that her debut album Y2K, released in late July 2024, had flopped by selling less than 30,000 in the first week, and then, a few months later, she would start beefing online with her ex-friend, the rapper Cleo Trapper. This all started in September 2024, when the two unfollowed each other on social media.
See, now, if she was an industry plant, she probably wouldn't have took that hard of a fall off. I think she just stopped making hits, so she fell off, nigga. It is what it is. It happens to most of them.
Fans would begin to speculate, with one fan saying that she was about the bag and nothing else, and while replying to the tweet, Cleopatra would say that she was played, betrayed, and unpaid. Later that day, Cleo would post a TikTok where she accused Ice of being a fake friend, also saying that Ice would only hang out with her to roll out her music.
But it was just like, even a basketball game, it was like one day later, she's like dropping a song. It's like every time she's like inviting me out, because we never chilled on some like chill shit, bro. Like it was never like there's some chill. It was always like in the blogs the next day and the song is dropping too. So it was like, what? This girl kind of uses me for her rollouts.
Ice would respond to the claims while chatting with fans on Twitter Spaces by basically calling Cleo ungrateful and saying that she didn't need to share her stage with her. Cleo would then post another TikTok where she claims that she was Ice's token black friend. But if this wasn't bad enough for Ice's public perception, around the same time, the streamer Tylil would have Ice as a guest on his stream, during which Tylil wanted to pray with everyone in the room. Right after
See,
prayer,
this is what I don't get into. I don't get into this drama stuff. This ain't my thing. Like I don't care about none of this. I really don't. I don't give a fuck.
It apparently seemed to many in the public that Ice would make the devil horn symbol with her fingers.
I'm gonna just say this prayer so the Lord
Again,
protect us as we go
don't
through
care,
the
bro.
and the rest of our careers.
It's none of my. I don't care.
Hold hands.
I'm not putting that into my brain. I'm not putting it. I'm not thinking about it.
With this amazing stream and our amazing.
Apart from many of the other rappers we've discussed in this video, is the fact that she managed to benefit from drill music without actually having to be involved in the street life, which arguably showed the world just how far drill music as an idea and as a genre of music can actually go. Nobody had to be hard for Ice Spice to become a global megastar. She didn't have to do a drill to make drill music, and I would argue that gangsters that turn rappers should stop trying to be gangster when they actually become artists. As we've unraveled the story of the Bronx drill scene, we've seen how many of these young rappers have become both victims and participants in the cycle.
The point of rapping is to generate income and get out of the situation that you're in. You know, not to keep doing what you're doing, not to keep just doing the same thing. Like, if you're just doing the same thing, then what's the point? You're not growing, you're not changing anything. You're just getting a little bit more money. Like, money only increases your access to shit. Like, if you don't change your habits, your environment, ain't nothing gonna change.
Of violence that defines these streets. The Bronx drill scene is certainly full of success stories, but it also carries its share of tragedies, offering lessons to both fans and artists alike. For many, drill music is often an outlet, a way to channel their reality into art, but for others, the line between music and the streets becomes dangerously blurred. And unfortunately for the gang-affiliated drill rappers of the Bronx, the New York law enforcement are not letting up, and they've been going after entire...
You know, my head.
Pix 11 News spoke exclusively with Officer Mohammed Chaudhry after he was released from the hospital. He was in bad shape then.
His life was shattered, changed forever. He'll never be the same. Never came back full duty.
Also on the 2nd of August, the Bronx DA would announce a second major gang bust, this time concerning the Slaughtery or Slattery gang, who were based near the Slattery playground in the Fordham Heights area. This gang was taken down with a whopping 176-count indictment.
Well, now to an exclusive you'll see only right here on Fox 5.
We were there, and the only TV crew along for what police call the takedown of some of the most violent gang.
I just want to know, what are they gonna do once they have all these gangs just put into like a confined space? Like, what do they think they're doing by throwing all these gang members in a prison together? Again, they're putting band-aids on. Like, you're not doing anything. You're not helping the people. It's crazy.
Members they've ever seen.
Think about it. Like, actually think, people. Like, please.
Look with the NYPD, Lisa.
Well, Stephen, Natasha, we had that firsthand look at how the NYPD is bringing alleged gang members who terrorize their own community to justice.
And we know about Rikers. We know what goes on at Rikers.
76-count felony indictment.
Nay Benz, police say you're a trigger puller. Police say you're a trigger puller. Is that true? What?
Bruh.
Police say you're a trigger puller. Is that? The Slattery crew, also known by other names like Slaughtery and S-Block, allegedly took aim at their main opponents or ops, other young people, for no good reason. Investigators say the hatred is fueled by inflammatory disses about murdered ops and drill raps posted on social media. That's aspiring drill rapper Nay Benz, who police
I don't get
the
it.
gang leader.
It's just fueling the fire. And you don't need to be dissing dead people no ways. Like, that's weird. That's on some satanic shit. So you're just inviting all that negative energy into your life. So y'all need to quit doing it.
The average age of the case subjects is 20. Teen girls are
20.
too.
Average age is 20 years old. Again, these niggas is kids. They were taught this. They became this way because that is how they were brought up.
Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark announced a 176-count conspiracy indictment against the alleged gang members for everything from attempted murder to robbery and weapons possession. More than a dozen guns were recovered, including some from the takedown.
We're going to stay at this no matter what, no matter how long
Doing
it takes.
what exactly,
we are
though?
laser focused on making sure that we keep the public safe.
They are absolutely firing bullets without remorse or regret.
Keeping the public safe. I don't like that. I don't know if she just worded it wrong. But no, I don't fucking like that. Cause what about these kids in these neighborhoods, bruh? Y'all aren't keeping these people safe. You're throwing their family members in jail. You're not helping them. You're throwing them in jail with their ops. That you just said, like, you know they're enemies and y'all just throwing them in there together. Like, we know all the, they just overrun with just gang members. Like, so it's not helping nobody. You throwing them in jail. You're not making the public safe. You're just taking the public away. Like, it's like telling everybody to go inside. Like, everybody go like yourselves up into your house. Boom. Like, no, that's not a solution. It's not a solution at all. It's a Band-Aid.
Regard of anybody that's around.
This is one of the most violent crews that I've seen. You made our streets, our communities into a battlefield, and there's no excuse for that.
The charges include 14 separate shootings, multiple counts of robbery, and even a brutal slashing inside the Bronx courthouse. One of the gang members, Phoenix Charlie, also known in the streets as Fee Banger, would boast on Instagram about smuggling scalpels into the courthouse, showing the brazenness of their activities. The indictment also highlighted how the gang used social media to promote violence and mock their enemies,
That's
as well as
the
participating
problem.
in creating drill rap videos.
I don't get why y'all want to flaunt it on social media, though.
From shootings to robberies were not only happening on the streets, but were also openly flaunted on social media. It gave law enforcement.
But I gotta remember these are kids too. Like I said, like they don't think because they're not developed to think yet. You know, like they're supposed to be in high school. They're supposed to be getting their first job. You know what I'm saying? Like most of these people can't even drink yet. We gotta go a little deeper. You know what I'm saying?
To build their case against them. There were also rumors on social media that Slattery native Lil TJ, real name Tion Merritt, had actually been named in the federal indictment. But on September 23rd, 2024, Lil TJ's attorney, Dawn Florio,
biggest ops.
released a press statement clarifying that TJ had not been indicted, despite several media outlets spreading this rumor. These latest crackdowns on the Bronx gangs serve as a cautionary tale. So the authorities are keeping a very...
You see, y'all gotta get good lawyers, but y'all don't need... You shouldn't have no reason to need a lawyer. Unless it's like improper backing or some shit like that. Y'all need to chill. It's out of love though. For real. Cause like I said, I hate seeing my niggas go to jail. And I hate seeing my niggas dying over stupid reasons. Like there's too many. Too many that's gone. For those exact reasons. For what this dumb stuff right here. And like I said, these are kids. They are taught this. They don't know any freaking better. That's their environment. You can't that's not how brains work. That's not how learning works. That's not how development works. So expecting these kids to just come out perfect when you're putting these kids in these harsh environments. You know what I'm saying? And you just expect them to what? Not become a product of their environment. That's not how anything works. So we really just gotta stop the violence, bro. Like I said, I love all my niggas and I want to see y'all live and prosper. And a lot of y'all made a way for yourselves to get out of this shit. Like y'all got millions of dollars and y'all just making shit worse. Like I know the money look good, but you're just making your lives worse, like, at the end of the day. But anyways, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed the vid. If you did, give it a like, subscribe for more. Appreciate all the love and support, and I'll see y'all in the next one.